All right, so let's cd back up to slash. All right, so then you have the boot directory. So let's look at the permissions on boot. You can see, look at it, root and root, but I can't write to it, right? Boot is where you'll find your system information. And when I say system information, your kernel information. This is where you find out about what particular kernel you're running, what the different kernels that are on your system. I can do uname -a, and you can see I got 3.10.02728, right? That's the latest and greatest. But I also have an image of 3.2722. I also have 121.121.el7, and you see the actual mapping of those. So I have the init ramfs, I have the actual kernel, and then I have the map that goes with it. So back in the day, you would have to you could make your own, you can customize your own kernel. Right now, by Red Hat default, in order to customize your own kernel, you have to go here. You have to go to kernel.org. Ubuntu usually goes with the latest and greatest kernel, which is 4.73. Red Hat by default or CentOS by default stays several releases behind. As you can see, 3.10. You can download the latest and greatest kernel, grab some other RPMs that you need to install, and customize this this kernel for this box. And we'll do that at a later time, but it's actually kind of fun. So you'll like it, but it takes a while because you have to go through and do a lot of steps on customizing your kernel. Let me show you this. So the grub.config, right? So it used to be called grub conf, and you could go in here and set what kernel that you wanted to boot into by default. So in here, you'll see when this boots up, if we had a direct console, because we have a console, but we can't see it boot up, right? You see here, it tells you, I could probably go here and look. Let's look at that. Let me control C that. So here it tells me what kernel is booting, the init ramfs that goes with it, and so forth. But it doesn't tell me exactly what boots up first. So let's do this. So back in RHEL 6, you could go init tab and say, I want to go through and I want to say, okay, I want to make sure that I boot into this kernel because this other kernel corrupts X, Y, and Z. In RHEL 7, there's a difference. Okay, so now you just do grub set, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's look at this. And I'll explain this command. So, as you can see, if you count it, it'll be 0, 1, and 2, and then 3. Starting at the top, 0, 1, 2, 3. So what they did was they did an Alt-F on this XC-grub conf file. They looked for every place. The delimiter was the spaces, and they looked for anywhere in here where there was a menu entry, and they got the second column, and then they said xcgrub2.conf. So if you did a cat on xcgrub2.cfg and grep for menu entry, that's what they did. Okay, I'll do that one more time. Right, but let's look at the command. They went by spaces. They say this slash here is telling it to escape the character, escape everything, and use single ticks with spaces. And it says print me the second column. So here, I'm looking for this as this is my delimiter. And then this one is the second column. So basically, boom, and it grabbed this whole entire line here. And you notice it didn't print the single ticks. and then look for $ equals, if $ equals menu entry, and it says what, and then give me the second column and then print it. So that's what it did. So look at that, and notice it didn't print the ticks. And here what they're saying is another kernel, then come here and type in, what was that, grub default, grub2 set default. So you can do grub2 tab, and you can see there's multiple things you can do here. Oh yeah, grub set, and then you can set the password if you wanted to on boot up, but default. And remember, like I said, each line is, this one is that's 0, that's 1, and that's 2. Let's set it to 1. All right, and then now I'm gonna reboot my machine, and let's see if it comes back as 327.22.2. All right, it's pretty quick on reboots here. And let's do a uname-a, and I'm 3.27.22.2. Let's go and reset that back to 0, which should be the original one that I had, and reboot. And that's how you set your new kernel inside of RHEL 7. All right, if I want to find out who last logged into my box, so I could do a last log, tells me who logged into my box. I can also do a cat on var log secure, and that'll tell me who's been logging into my box, and the time and date as well too. So from RHEL 6, which I'm going to show you now, if you guys have your compute engine still up, create a new instance, and that new instance, make it a RHEL 6 instance. Let's put it back over here. Make it the smallest one. Let's change this. Let's make it CentOS 6. Select. I want to show you this. All right. So in RHEL 6 and RHEL 7, there are some differences. RHEL 6 is based on service and check config, versus in RHEL 7, everything is system control. So whenever you want to find out stuff about what's booting up at default on your box, you do system control, list, unit, files. I'm gonna pipe that over to less. All right. So without it, you'll see the color changes. But as you can see, I have, these are default services and targets, I should say, that are set by default on your Linux box. And so anytime I want to turn them on or turn them off, I have to enable them. So right now my rsync service is disabled. So I can do system control, enable, I can do rsync, and I can just hit tab. Oh, it don't like me. That's fine. Access denied. Why? Maybe it's just since the rsync system. Yeah, that's alright. Let's find out why you're denying me, because I think they may fall under something else. Let's see. Up rsync. Oh, rsync D. Sorry. Alright, so I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna disable it. It's gonna, when I disable it, it's gonna remove the links. Everything is over into different units. So look at this here. Multi-target. So I have different targets. Those targets are, I have like multi-user, and then I have what they consider the default target, right? So let's look at, let's do a LL on that. Um or LS minus L. So I have default, which default target goes over to multi-user target, and then you have basic target once. That's something different. But that's where we're at. We don't have an interface. Hold on, let me see what's the other one actually called. So it's actually two of them because there's different run level. Yeah, run level 5 target. That's what graphical. New is another one. And as you notice, you don't even have the option for graphical on here. I wonder what package it is. I have to do some search to see what package that comes out of. Maybe just a X11 install. But you could do just like they do here, system get default, to find out what your default is set at. Right now, multi-user target is level 3. Your graphical target would be level 5, where you actually have a full-blown interface. So if I do, remember, system control, and if I do -- help, this tells me the different commands I can run with it. So list units. So let's clear. System control list units. And as you can see, that's a little bit more expansive than the other one. When I do list unit files, where it gives me the services and whether they're disabled or enabled. All right, so now I can type system control. I want to show you. Guess what? Command's not found. Because when they made the switch to RHEL 7, it falls under system D. Inside of RHEL 6 is service. So I could do check config -- list. So now I'm listing the services, and it gives me the different run level that the services are at. Level 0, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. Totally different than what you see for RHEL 7. So here is a RHEL 6 box, and here is a RHEL 7 box, or CentOS. So totally two different commands. So this is how I check to see what level it's at, and this is by default. Remember, I did system control get default. Remember, and I'm in multi-user target. So when I enable it, it should enable it for the target that I want, the target that I'm set at. Here on RHEL 6, I pick and choose which level I want it to run it on, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So here, let's look at so let me clear. So if I just want SSHD, let me do that. I say, okay, SSHD is on level off on level 0, off on level 1, and then on 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is on. So by default, really, you never really use 2. You use level 3 and level 5, and level 6 is reboot, and level 0 is shutdown. So really, you're only using 2, 3, or 5. 5 on the RHEL 7 side being graphical, 3 being multi-user on the RHEL 7 side, 3 being the command line on the RHEL 6 side, and 5 being the graphical side on RHEL 6. Same difference? So in here, I could do a lot of things with Yum. Let's do a Yum group list. And it's going to go out to its repos and give me a list of groups. We're going to play with installing a grep-i desk. All right, so let me clear. So I want to install the general purpose desktop. So I do yum group install, and it's gonna go through and grab a whole bunch of packages, and I'm gonna say yes. So the reason why I'm showing you this is so if ever you want to play with Linux and you want to play with a desktop in Linux and you want to see how it works, how it feels for Ubuntu or Debian, I think Google Cloud is a good way for you to start and play with, so you can get a feel for whether or not you like the desktop before you do a major install on a laptop. Just give you a good look and feel. It'll be the same thing here on RHEL 7. I can do a yum group list. It shows me what's available. So it says I have access to. It doesn't even give me the graphical interface for real. For say, oh, I got graphical administration tools, but I don't have the graphical interface for. Oh, there it is. Server with GUI. Let me see. There it is. That's what I want. So clear. So use Google Cloud or VMware or virtual. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would do. I would use Google Cloud because I could destroy it and take it down any way I want to. And if you don't want to, renew after the 60 days, you at least know what you want to play with and what you really want to get your hands into. I think it's cool that you can spend up 4 or 5 of the boxes right now. It's free, so you can get a good feel for it. And that's what I would do. Yum group install. Let's go here. All right. Let's say yes to this. I could have said yes earlier, but I didn't. So as you can see, it's installing the 9,000 packages for my graphical interface, and you normally don't. I mean, you really don't need a graphical interface unless you really want to play with one. But I want to show you some things. Once this gets installed. So while that's doing its while it's installing, let's move on. I'm going to pop open another screen. I'm going to take these over to another screen while they do what they do. All right. So let's also look at SSH in between two boxes. All right. So ifconfig, it's not there. IPADDR. No, I don't have my environment set up on a document or nothing like that. I'm just spinning these up as we talk, so everything is pretty much live. And this video is recorded, so I can post it if you want to go back and look at it. But for me, it's easier for me to show you live because that's just, I think you get better training versus me giving you something that's been kind of rehearsed. So what I wanted to show you here was, so I see yeah. So I see I have 10.142.0.12. As you can see down here, .12 is my Wednesday class Linux. I want to SSH to 142.0.13. So I'm going to SSH and I'm going to type in, if you type who am I'm Tamika. Okay. So I'm going to SSH to 10.142.0.8. And as you can see, I got logged in, and you see here logged in to will test 1.0.8 on the back end. Remember, I'm on the back end of this machine. All right. So what I want to say is, did you notice that when I logged in, I didn't log in with a password, right? You know why? Because Google automatically set up the SSH keys for you between machines. which is really cool when you want to try to maneuver around to different machines. So basically, if I have an internal network set up where I can SSH and do whatever it is that I need to do, which is really nice. All right, so I can do the same thing for .13, and I'm on the new box. And who am I on that new box? What is the size of my partition? And can I do a last log to tell me who last logged in? I could do also a last reboot. It may be space. Yeah. So it tells me last reboot tells me the last time the machine was rebooted. All right. One of these has finished. The RHEL 6 one has finished. Okay. So remember I did a get default. System control. Oh, sorry. I'm on RHEL 6. It should tell you. Let's look at man. Let me do a man-k on last. Nothing in there. Let's look up last reboot. Alright, so yeah, last reboot, I guess a username, or those are my options. Last reboot, Tamika Reed. How about Tamika? Does it give me the same thing? Okay. So see, yeah. And it tells you if I'm logged in or not too. The last reboot was looks like that was a system reboot, but then then I last rebooted the machine, and it tells me. So that's pretty cool. All right, so on this RHEL 6 box, I'm gonna sudo su-root, and what I want to do is I want to set it to, this is the difference. Remember, I'm on the RHEL 6 box. I can come here and set it to graphical interface 5. So that's 5. So how did I do that? I went into VM init tab. I'll pull up a RHEL 7 box so you can see. All right. So on this box, if I sudo -root, and if I vim etc init tab, if you notice, I don't have the same information in here. Yeah, you get Windows servers, yes. Not Windows X710 or 7 or 10 with Windows servers. But you can make an image and put it up there. So you see there's a difference in RHEL 6 and RHEL 7. Alright. So you don't get this in RHEL 7. That's what this box is. This is a RHEL 7 box. But here in this RHEL 6 box, I do get that. And then I want to do a yum install TigerVNC star. I want to install everything Tiger. Yes. Alright. And I'm going to reboot this machine. And then I'm going to come back into it. Alright. And this one is my other one is still going. It's on package 575. It's still going, as you can see. Alright. So let's see if this one ever come back up for me. And I want to show this. So let's sudo su-root. That's VNC server :1. I'm just gonna make a default password here. Alright, I'm on my local box. Let's pull up VNC Viewer. Now, it's when it gets funky here. We're gonna do some firewall opening up here. So, on my box, this is how you open up firewall ports. Alright, so here I can do, I'm doing that stat dash pen. Alright, look, VNC is running on port 5801 and 5901. So I'm really going to do this from 5800 to 6000. So on my instance, on my Google Cloud, I need to go to my firewall. You do that by going to that little 3-bar there. You go to networking. And then you go to firewall rules. And I think I might have already opened this. Yeah, I did. So I did a default allow VNC from anywhere over ports 5800 to 6800. And then I got some tags for VNC. So I've tagged it, right? So if I go back to my compute engine, and remember I'm working with my RHEL 6 box. If I come here and I edit, I put in VNC. So I just applied that firewall rule to just this box. Now I'll go back here and I grab my IP address, which is that 104. 104 and 196. And please remember, when you reboot your boxes, you turn them on and off, the IP address changes. They're not static unless you request it to be static. Alright, let's see if this gets in. Did I do that right? Oh no, that's the wrong one. Yeah, no, that's right. 104, 196, 201, 2220. Alright, let's go to the box and see what's going on. Let's turn off the firewall. Oh no, that's the wrong machine. It's RHEL 6. And where are you at, RHEL 6? Okay, let's go back over here. It timed down on me. Let's see if it connects now. VNC server. I think it's just a list. Okay, dash list. I was right. Okay, it's running. Where are we failing at? Let's see. And when we're doing this is when you check your log files. Nothing there. Nothing. I don't see anything. And then we can double check this from my box. And this is all part of troubleshooting. Q. Hold on, let me get out of full desktop mode there. You said, were you able to copy images off of your Google Cloud before? Yeah, I didn't need them. I didn't try. I'm sure I could have. What does it say? Timeout waiting for host computer. Okay, let's find out something here. Well, here's the IP address. It's a telnet to port 590 or 5900. Try. How about 5800 or 5801? trying. Let's go back to this guy. Clear you. Do net stat. And actually, it's not even net stat anymore. It's SS Tuna. Here's what the new one is. So 5800, 5801, and 5901. So I'm not getting there. Oops, sorry. I'm not getting there. So that tells me something is going on my firewall. So I need to look at my firewall. Where'd you go? So let's go back to Will. Make sure we had the VNC set up there on the right one. On the tag. Oh, I didn't do it? I thought I did that on there. I guess I didn't. Hold on. Let's put in VNC. And then let's save that. Okay. Is it saved? It's still saving. Okay, it should be saved. And then let's go and try this again. No? Oh yeah, look. We got there now. Alright. And on 5801. We got there. Okay. So we know now through my firewall. I just didn't save it, I guess, when I did it. Come on, quit. There you go. When I did it, I didn't save it. So now, when I come back here, I should connect. And I put in my password. And as you can see, it's trying to set it up, but we may need some other packages in order to finish off our login here. I mean, in order to finish off our graphical interface. All right, so now we know we're connecting over it. Do another young group list and fight that over the list. All right. You're missing probably the desktop and desktop platform. Okay. Let me double check that. Make sure there's no X11. Yeah, X Windows systems is what I would install. So clear. I would do a yum group install, and you can also do group install desktop platform, and what I say X window. I hope it's window and not Windows system. What I did? Oh, so is it? Okay, so on RHEL 6, it still don't like the. All right. So let's get this. Here's got a whole nother other packages, set of packages to install. Welcome to the world of why you don't install a desktop on a server. But I just want to show you, you have the option to set up your own graphical interface, which is totally cool. The only reason why I chose Google Cloud, because I think it's easier. I think you also get a better. I also think you get a better sense of what the cloud platform could look like for you if you were to do it. I'm gonna reboot that instance, and then I'll start a VNC server session again, and then I'll connect again, and then you should have a graphical interface. Reconnect here so you guys get to see my final product, my masterpiece. I do recommend the Linux Plus, and I don't recommend the Linux Plus.
And why is
I recommend the Linux Plus if you are going down a development environment, because most of the people who are developers use the Ubuntu setup to deploy. But industry standard, normally what you'll find out there is most people are Red Hat inside of their bare metal servers or their VMs in terms of production servers, and most of the time the developers are in Ubuntu. So it depends on your path. And the only reason why I say it's good to have is because it's just something just good to know. It's that's just it. But could you sit down and pick up spin up Ubuntu on Google Cloud and then go start learning commands? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I love Ubuntu.
Yeah.
I dual booted it with Windows, so
Yeah. So if you're doing that, yeah. And Security Plus, yes, is a good class to have. We're actually starting that soon. And we also CompTIA partners, so we get discounts on tests. So if you let us know, we can get you a discount. But we are going to start that class. So, all right. So VNC server :1. All right. I didn't put a password on that, so I wonder if it's going to let me connect. It may not. I may have to start another one. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to let me connect. So let's go VNC server 2. And oh, it didn't let me do it. Oh, okay. I know why. Because I've already set the password. So 1 should work. And yeah. All right. So as you can see, I'm connected now. And I have a desktop on my Linux box out on Google Cloud. And all the commands and stuff that I was doing, like cd to a directory, you can now just click on it and go to a directory. When I talk about, and I'm on RHEL 6 on this, remember that, so it's a different. And when I talk about my firewall rules and stuff that I was talking about, I get it is called services. Administration, where is it at? Oh, there it is, firewall. And then here you go with all of those. Here's your firewalls. So that's your interface. You see how many packages it took for me to install that. Damn near 9,000 packages, but you get a chance to see. And then I started up installing VNC. I started up a VNC session, and now I have a graphical interface. So basically, I have a desktop out in the cloud that I could use and I can play with. Could I do the same thing for Ubuntu? Exactly. Could I do the same thing for Debian? Exactly. I can do the same thing. I can do the same setup there. So that's that's it in a nutshell. That's the interface of that. We went over a lot of things. I didn't go over some shells, but the next time we come in, we won't be doing this pretty little interface. I will show you some command line tricks on installing packages, especially installing stuff with Google Cloud and setting up your instances. We'll be able to do G Cloud. Um, Hold on, I figured it out. It's G Cloud instance create. So I can do here. I can create an instance. So look, so clear. Let's call this new study. So basically, it's gonna go out to my Google Cloud here. And if I go back to instances, you'll see that it's out here creating my instance. It's called new study. And that's from with setting up the SDK. And it's going to report back to me once it's finished. And that's what we want to get in the habit of doing is anytime we spin up an instance, I don't want to be inside of my interface here. I'm gonna do everything in the command line. So I created my instance. I could do a G Cloud instance dash help, or I think it's just help. So anyway, I could just start and stop my instance. So let's go back here. Let's stop my instance. Let's stop. New study is still going. Let's stop will dash test one dash one, and let's stop will rel 6 dash instance. Let's stop that from command line. What are you having problems with? Oh, that's because I have them set up in the zone. So yeah, I would have to go to the zone. I have them set up in my default zone. As you can see, well, no, US East B1. Oh yeah, so I can't stop anything outside of US East 1B without changing. So we'll talk about that when you set it up. But I can stop Wednesday class dash lytics. Now that one I should be able to stop because I didn't. It's in the same zone, and I don't know why the last one is taking so long. That one should have been finished by now. And as you can see, Wednesday class Linux is stopping. What we went over tonight is probably like the first 3 to 4 chapters of the Red Hat book for the RHCSA exam. Things I didn't go over are like really fine tune ACLs and how to configure IP addresses and so forth and so on, which we can go over. But really, your intro class that I'm teaching you is like the first 9 chapters of the RHCSA. You said, do you think that it's a good start in setting up my VM? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would set it up. I mean, you don't have nothing to lose when you got 60 days of it free, and you can make the VM as big as you want to be and play with them. And there's also there's Google Cloud platform on YouTube, and they have a lot of good examples on like a lot of good videos on how to use their stuff. Like how to start up command line stuff. I would definitely check out those videos. I'm actually going to be pulling some things from those videos. So they're great, great information, and they also have webinars as well too. So I would check that out just so you can see, how extensive it is and how to. And they got a podcast as well too. So I like them.